elevation. I need elevation. I need elevation. I need elevation.
Hello, fans. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you're in the world. Welcome to the match reaction on Footy with Football Channel. My name is Ehis, my humble self, and here with the men them, as Chimamaka was calling us before we joined. Who started the show? Chimamaka, what's up? How you doing?
I'm very good. It's good to be here, man. And good to see you again.
Exactly.
Great. And also, Damini, what's up? How you doing?
Yeah, man. I'm doing great, guys. I'm doing great. Glad to be here again as well.
Good. We just had to come and react to the game week 8 and some talking points that happened in this crew, on this panel. Damini's team seems to be the one that picked up all the 3 points. Chelsea was on the losing away match. They lost at Anfield. And also, Arsenal got pummeled 2-0, erasing their 100% record from the start of the season. Game week 8, but recency bias, straight up, Liverpool, Chelsea. Chimamaka, as a Chelsea fan, were you impressed with the performance, looking at what happened today?
Yeah, I was actually impressed with the entire performance. I never saw a Chelsea team playing Liverpool this way. Actually, if you ask me, but they all manned up. They all showed their work. They came out strong, and I was impressed. Literally impressed. Aside from the score line that actually was the entire game changer, every other thing on the pitch, I think Chelsea did better performance wise. Every part of the pitch they did better, but the score line didn't show
reflect that.
what they actually. It didn't reflect the performance that they had actually today. It was a beautiful match. Well, I knew at the beginning of the game, the referee had his issues. I think he was unbalanced with himself, giving out fouls unnecessarily, and eventually the penalty came in, destabilized the team, and well, it's football. I know there's so many things that have to be talked about regarding the refereeing of the EPL this season. We are just in the number 8 game of the season, and we are having this kind of problem. Well, so that being said, Liverpool, Chelsea, a beautiful game. Liverpool nicked the 3 points. I'm satisfied with the performance. Truthfully, as a Chelsea fan, I'm sincerely satisfied with the performance. I only believe that next time they take advantage of little chances they create and turn it to goals. And with that, I believe the sky is just a starting point, man.
Damini, as a rival, being a Man City fan, were you impressed with what you saw today in Chelsea? Because they seems to be the one in the rebuilding phase. So we're saying, okay, Maresca, a young Pep's disciple, what's he going to do? What's he going to bring in? They had a Pochettino, who was a seasoned manager last season, and they were terrible despite finishing 6th. But looking at 8 games right now, looking at the Maresca rebuild, Maresca's team, he owns the team now. He calls the shots. Were you impressed? Because this Liverpool was like a litmus test for them. But were you impressed with what you saw today against Liverpool? I feel despite going to 1-0.
To be honest, like you said exactly what I took out from that game, where it's still a rebuilding phase. It's not even done yet. That match started with the likes of Enzo and Nkunku on the bench. It saw a very interesting pairing. I know Cucurella had his issues with yellow cards and all of that, but even that defensive line as well wasn't Chelsea's, preferred. Let me use that word. In terms of what he's been able to achieve coming to the team with a very bloated squad, I think Chimamaka used that word the last time, and I was like, that's exactly what it is. It is a bloated squad. And trying to stamp his imprint, it's coming together. It's coming together. It's coming together. You can tell that he's doing something. He's doing something on the training ground. He's doing something with those boys. They are not. The one key thing that is different from Chelsea last season and this season is when people they're not slumping their shoulders. They are playing football with their shoulders high. They are broad. They believe that you know what, if there's a chance, we'll take it. I think the one key difference today was just the 12th man, which is the Anfield Stadium itself.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yep.
know, going to Liverpool and getting 3 points is in itself
It's a
it's
hard
it's
task.
a challenge.
Yep.
You know,
Mm.
so there's that. But for me, from a Maresca standpoint, honestly, I can only give him like probably a 6.5, 7/10. And I'm really excited to see where they go to. I'm really excited to see. It's just been 8 games, guys. 8 games, and there's been so many different things happening, right?
Mm.
So I'm really interested. I'm really excited. Let's see where we are in January. First week of January, I want to see where that table is.
So, Maka, let's talk from the football perspective. Looking at the stats of the game, Liverpool had 8 shots. Chelsea, the away side, had 12 shots, but Liverpool had 5 on target. Chelsea had 2 on target. 58 position to Chelsea, 42 to Liverpool. 503, 36 completed passes to that of
Look at that.
409 to that of Liverpool. Pass accuracy, 88% to Chelsea, 79% to Liverpool. Looking at from a neutral perspective, looking at that game, I thought Chelsea dominated at some point. I don't know what style Liverpool came in with. I think Liverpool just wanted to relinquish position to Chelsea and wanting to hit Chelsea on the counter, because one thing they know Chelsea, the strength of this Chelsea team is they can hit you on the counter fast with the likes of Sancho on the right wing, Sancho on the left wing, and Noni Madueke on the left wing, with Cole Palmer, supporting them. And I think it was smart of Arne Slot kind of to like, okay, I'm going to relinquish possession to Chelsea and let Chelsea, do the talking, or let Chelsea be the one to enforce whatever they need to enforce, and we just take it to them. Did you think that penalty was a soft penalty on the aspect of, as a Chelsea fan? Let's talk about the game now. I think Chelsea did well in terms of the start. By the end of the day, the scoreline is what matters. But from a Chelsea fan perspective, looking at the stats and looking at that penalty, do you think it was a soft penalty?
Yeah, look, watching the game from the beginning of the game, I realized that the referee had let go of some fouls that would have resulted into becoming a penalty. So, if you ask me as a Chelsea fan, I will tell you that penalty was too soft to be given as a penalty. But being that he had been able to let go of one or two fouls that happened, I think he just had to give a call, and the call was against Chelsea. But and on the other end of the whole game, I wouldn't just want to talk regarding the referee. I want to talk based on what Chelsea assembled in the 5 and 6 area of their defense. Yeah, we know we were missing Fofana, who already has a very good pairing with Levi Colwill and Cucurella in defense. But having Tosin
Tosin.
and who's the other guy that was there, and Colwill,
Colwell,
there
Levi
was
Colwell.
there was a little lapse. So there needed
The
to be an
chemistry was
understanding
not there.
between the 5 and 6. Yeah, there was no chemistry. So that resulted in the penalty. So if you ask me, well, being a Chelsea fan, I see it as a soft penalty, but at the long run, a penalty is a penalty. It was actually a penalty, in my own opinion. So
Is
whether
that a
it came in
question?
soft or not, it was a penalty. But I think the Chelsea 5 and 6 should have done better in handling that. They would have done better in handling that. But it happens. It's contact sports. So A might hit B and it might not actually happen right. It goes in as a penalty. So as it is, the game is over. In my opinion, it would have they would have let it slide. But the long run, review here, review there, it became a penalty, and penalty is a penalty. That was actually what destabilized the team. The moment that penalty came in, that was what destabilized Chelsea. But at the end of the whole day, well, they fought so hard, and I was entirely impressed with the whole thing. Entirely impressed, in my opinion. Very, very impressed. So well, it was a penalty. It was a penalty. It was given. It was given. It's
Yeah.
Anfield, bro.
What about the
Yeah, I
Curtis
mean,
tackle?
yeah, okay.
No, he had one tackle that on was it Santiago Sanchez?
Yeah. No, it was cancelled out as a penalty. The
Oh,
ref
it was
awarded as a
cancelled as a
penalty. So
penalty.
it was cancelled
Yeah.
out. They had to go to the VAR because I realized, like I said earlier, I said the referee got to a stage wherein he got so confused. He didn't know what decisions to make. He was actually making decisions based on the impulse of players or based on the reaction of players, not
Yeah.
being judgmental. No, he wasn't judging
Was yeah.
judging the game, judging the
You know
actions
what I'm saying?
on incidents there. He was judging it based on reactions of players. So that is where I feel he got it, he lost it. Because normally, if there was no VAR, truthfully, that penalty would have been given.
Yeah.
He didn't see that there was a clean tackle by the
By
goalkeeper,
Sanchez.
and he awarded the penalty. So, well, bro, there are so many things to talk about regarding the referee, but let's leave that. They are one set of that they are one bunch that really annoy me this season, and it's just 8 games gone.
But on the footballing perspective, what should Chelsea do from here? Because really, I was impressed because if and the other rivals too should be wary of Chelsea. I think it started like a house on fire. Nobody didn't really, the eyes were not on them really per se because when they started blistering Wolves 6-2, Brighton 4-2, they were scoring a lot of goals. But right now, I think they're beginning to take notice of this Chelsea team. Anybody that wants to play Chelsea now needs to come prepared. This is not the Chelsea of last season. But on the football perspective, because really what matters is the result. Regardless of how beautiful you play, regardless of how the style of play has changed from when Poch was the manager to Maresca being this is his first debut as a manager in the English Premier League. As a Chelsea fan, Chima Makadamini, I'm coming to you as well. As a Chelsea
Yeah.
fan, on the footballing perspective, what needs to change? What needs to improve from here? Moving on, because you
Well,
couldn't have gone to Anfield. Nobody goes to Anfield to dominate, but Chelsea did something today whereby going in there dominated. And reading the stats, you could see that they were at the top. They were ahead of Liverpool. However, Liverpool, they were poor today. Remnants of what happened after in the Nottingham Forest game after the international break. It took them a while before the guts, started and they lost that game. But if Chelsea had been prolific, as in taking the chances and doing well at the front end of the pitch, possibly would have picked 3 points today. But as a Chelsea fan, what should they do moving on, football
well,
wise?
moving on. I think there really is nothing much to do moving on. Why I would say so is this because we have this crop of players already. It's not like it's transfer market where you'll be looking to bring in somebody who you think will replace or will do a better job. But as it stands with these guys going forward, all we need to do is be clinical in front of goal, especially when we are playing against the so-called top four or top six. Now, in such kind of games, it is the chances created and chances utilized that makes the difference in the game, especially with teams like this. Because
Yeah,
if you create chances and you don't use them, then you're wasting your time. So I think going forward, they need to be clinical in front of goal. They need to be fast thinkers in front of goal. No time to be selfish. If you're going to be selfish, make sure that your selfishness actually results to something positive. So moving forward, they only need to be much more clinical, much more direct. Then looking at the defense, I think the pairing of Fofana and Cowell has been building some good momentum, and I think with Fofana coming back and Kukurela back in left back, I think there'll be a little level of stability. Yeah, we're still conceding goals, no doubt. But I think over time they become solid. So in the midfield, I don't think there's a problem. Lavia was amazing today. He played 45 minutes. I enjoyed every bit of him. Caicedo is becoming a beast every week in, week out. He's becoming a beast week in, week out. I am so impressed with him. Who again was in the midfield? They eventually brought in Enzo Fernandez, which was beautiful. Noni Madueke on the left, on the right side of attack was amazing. In fact, today's game, I was surprised Liverpool assigned two players to mark that guy out. But still
yeah, it
yet
was
he
being
was
double
creating
marked.
chances. Yeah, he
Mm-hmm.
was being double
Mm-hmm.
marked. Still yet he was creating chances. So going forward, I think with what we played today, if we put this effort and a little much more clinicality going forward, that is in attack, I believe we would win our next few matches, even if they look like impossible games to win. We are going to do that. I believe we are going to do that. We just put little more effort in front of goal, then the rest will be history.
Yeah, Dominic, as a rival fan, what do you take out from today? Is looking at Chelsea, looking at the way Liverpool played. Liverpool, I mean, they were not in. They weren't that good today, but they were able to get a grand result. Perfect. But as a rival fan, what is the positive for you today? Looking at how Chelsea, set up. Palmer was nullified to a certain degree. Noni Madueke was double marked. Sancho, whenever he receives the ball too, was double marked. Is this can you just say authoritatively that Chelsea now is beginning to be Maresca's tactics, Maresca's formation is being found out?
I wouldn't say it's been. I wouldn't. Man, I understand. Yeah, maybe the word is found out, but I'll be like, I would probably say it's more of respected in the sense where, again, you are double teaming them for a reason. If it's short for you, leave them alone, right? So I think it's that sort of respect. And as Chimamaka was mentioning the names, you can just see the quality in that squad. Like that squad has so much quality. I think the one key thing where I might disagree with Chimamaka is where for that goals to come, I honestly, and this is so difficult for some people to understand. I understand why they disagree with me sometimes. But I honestly don't think it's Michael Jackson. Sorry, Nico Jackson that's going to get you there. I honestly don't think he's the one that's going to get you there. It's one of those things where,
He has scored five goals in 8 games
again, trust me, I
in the Prem.
understand that I understand it. I like he's just he's I don't see him as that person. And the reason why I say this is he doesn't know whether he wants to be selfish or he wants to pull back and be a rotating nine or be a, let's call him a center forward. He hasn't made that. He plays to too many sides. He's trying to play football for himself and also make the people around him happy. As a striker that goes for goals, you need to decide whether you are Bobby Firmino or you are, what's it called, Erling Haaland, that kind of thing. So let's see. Those are the kind of weaknesses that I still kind of say, okay, no matter what will happen, this issue that Chimamaka has mentioned is one thing that they can't easily fix. So because of that, I'm not worried. But miraculously, they get Nico Jackson, find a way to get someone that will see me in January. I would say top four is a very, very, very possible thing for Chelsea this season. When this season started, I wasn't telling anybody this. Like I didn't see Chelsea anywhere in the top four. But you see, just like Chiwaka said, they're beginning to build an identity. They have once those and it's a thing of chemistry. Once you have a solid 22 players, I think the sweet spot is 22 players. Once you have 22 players that play with themselves week in, week out, understand themselves for at least a season or two, the only way to improve that squad is to remove one or two people and add two people into that squad, and it just continually improve. What Chelsea did with their whole saga was they changed too many people at once. So people they're still going all over the place. They're still trying to find their footing. But now they're slowly getting there. The people that, again, I'm going to mention Nkunku because I still can't believe Nkunku is not starting. Like, I struggle to understand. But then when I see people playing on the pitch, I'm like, okay, I get why Maresca is not starting Nkunku because Noni is doing something that I obviously don't see on a weekly basis. I don't see it from Monday to Thursday. Only Maresca sees it. Sancho as well. Sancho understanding how English football is played, understanding how Premier League football is played now, naturally can come to the Chelsea side and command something. And he plays from the left wing. Left wing where I thought it was going to be Modric's season, but sadly, again, it's not. Right? So, yeah, challenging for the league, nah, that's not happening anytime soon. But top four, definitely. Top four. They're looking more serious.
Yeah, it's a pity. They're having a better season, better start of the season compared to Manchester United. But one thing I saw today is if there's a way you can take out from rivalry perspective, if there's a way you can take out Palmer, if Palmer and Noni don't sync, it's a problem. It's what I saw today, it's what I discovered today. And Liverpool were able to do that very well. Robertson, close marking, Noni Madrike. And I think at the point, Zoboslai was, coming back to support Noni, to support Robertson in that
Yeah,
area.
but
And
this is something you do away from home. So the fact that they respected Chelsea so much
yep,
to actually let go of all that, I think that's the one thing I don't understand, because when you are reading the stats, I'm like, who was at home? Which is very
it was
interesting.
Liverpool at
Which is
Anfield.
very, very interesting. But yeah, let's see
Yeah.
where they go. Hannibal is still not. I still don't understand what Hannibal is yet. And from all the Liverpool matches that I have watched, they seem to have a very slow start. They have a very slow start. It takes them like all that 20, 30 minutes, and then everybody's in flow. But for now, I just feel like Chelsea in 2 months' time, in a repeat match, will not lose. I'm sure of that.
Well, like I said, we saw Chimamaka, I'm coming to you. Like I said, we saw these vibes from Liverpool after the international break in October or in September thereabouts, where they lost to Nottingham Forest at home. And the same vibes happened today, where they were sluggish, they didn't go out of first gear. And I think there was no pattern. They just had to see out the game. If you look at the last 25 minutes of that match, Liverpool had no pattern at all. It was just like, let's just see through this. Let's defend properly. Let's cut out whatever threats.
In today's game, they literally defended than they attacked. Now, why? If you look at the game setup from the beginning, you realize that Arne Slot happened to accommodate more of his midfielders in order to be able to take charge of the midfield, but they lost it.
They lost the midfield.
They lost the midfield. So it is only trying to make you understand that both of them are good managers. It's only trying to make you understand that both managers have game plays. One actually used what he planned, what he trained for was done on the pitch, but it didn't result to goals. While the other was pushed back to playing what he didn't want to play. All they used today were long balls. All they used today were long balls. Apart from long balls, they didn't have the ball on their feet to tap and play from box to box. So the advantage was the fact that we had slow defenders and they had faster attack players. So all they did were use long balls. So it worked in a way for Maresca, and I think plan B option also worked for Slot. So in both ways, they worked so good. Now, coming back to Chelsea team, we're talking about, I spoke about Noni Madueke, who they assigned 2 players to. We are also forgetting that there was a player who came in for Sancho and was very instrumental in the second half. Yeah, Neto. We know he didn't score. Yes. The guy was something else. Either with 1 or 2 players, he was something else. Now, it's only telling me that, okay, tomorrow, with this kind of performance he had in 45 minutes, if he's given 90 minutes to play about, and you have exactly what will happen, I think there will be much more threat going forward. So, back to what I said earlier. If this Chelsea team going forward without any transfers as it stands, going forward, I think it's only utilizing the chances they create to bring about victory. That is all they do. Jackson, we didn't see him all through today. The only time we saw him was when he had the chance. The only chance he had, he put the ball in the net. That is what we expect from him. I'm not expecting too much from him. When he gets that one chance, make use of it. So if you use these chances, I'm not expecting Jackson to do 20 goals for me. Last season he did, I think, over 13 goals. I didn't expect him to do 13 goals, but he did 13 goals.
15 to
16 goals last season with 8 assists or so. So it is very impressive to see that. But I'm not saying he's the go-to solution. No, I'm not saying that. I'm happy that the team that Chelsea has is a high-scoring team. If Jackson is not scoring, Nkunku is coming in to score. If Nkunku is not doing that, we are seeing a Palmer. And by the grace of God, we are also seeing Noni Madueke, who is scoring too as well. So it gives room for every one of them to actually perform in front of goal. So going forward, I'm coming back to going forward. When the chances are created, they should utilize it. Now, at the end of the whole day, you cause problems for the opposition team.
Well, for me, just I was trying to make that take initially before we Damini brought in that part. I feel the over reliance on Palmer should be worked on, because if Palmer don't get to dictate the game,
I'm
away
telling
games, most
you,
especially Chelsea
yeah.
struggle with what we've seen. At least the sample size we have for these 8 games that we've seen. The last game against Nottingham Forest at home at Stamford Bridge, um, Palmer wasn't at his best, and also today we could see he wasn't at his best. So Maresca's ball moving forward, the boxes he needs to tick, the over reliance on Palmer. If you can try to bring in other guys as well to be able to, take off the workload from Palmer, to be able to, be the creative outlet and also create chances for the team to score, it will be perfect. But
Mm.
Damini, on the last thoughts on this, on the last talk on this segment, before we move to the other talking point, Liverpool, do you see Liverpool contending? Do you see Liverpool, in this title race? I know it's early days, but Man City still unbeaten, just drawn 2 games. They've won 6, unbeaten at the moment. But do you think Liverpool can push Man City and Arsenal, quote and unquote, as the favourites for this EPL title?
Um, yes. And the reason I'm saying yes is because of that Egyptian idiot. That's the reason I'm saying
Mohamed
yes.
Salah.
Is the reason I'm saying yes. That
Oh,
that
no,
that.
yeah.
Oh my gosh! I'm not going to lie to you guys. Salah is one of those players where I feel if Salah was European. I say this a lot. Salah and Mane, if for some funny way they were European, they would be so big. Because Salah, and another problem is Van Dijk. Honestly, Salah, Van Dijk, Alisson in post, they can really grind something out. And as much as I keep dragging Arnie that I don't know his ball, the one thing that he has proved to me, if nothing else, the guy is very adaptive. It's been a while I've seen a lot of managers, and this is something that Teta needs to learn as well. You see something is not working for you, and within those 90 minutes, within 45 minutes, you've adapted to something else. There are very, very few managers. I don't think, again, I'm going to shape probably the entire English nationality, but I don't think any English managers know how to do that. He has a very adaptive approach to things. The game against Milan, their first half, their first 15, 20 seconds, they were trying to control that midfield. They just lost it, and they were like, what, long balls. Before you know it, Van Dijk and what's his name, Konate got 2 goals in before the end of first half. It's the
But
exact same thing here. Yep.
Some leave.
Say that again.
I said some will argue that and the slot tactics in terms of adaptability is borrowing from Klopp's template.
I agree. There's a reason why the Liverpool hierarchy hired him. There's something they saw, right? I feel like the one key thing with football these days is very robotic. So the fact that a manager doesn't have that pride where, this midfield is not working for me. This Lavia boy, I can see why I wanted to buy him. The boy is like a horse. We're not doing this again. Load up those boys in front. Any small thing, just load them up. He's also, in a way, kind of letting them know that my tactics might not work, but I'm still the manager. You can bench a Trent. Once in a while, you can put a Simicas in there. That's one key thing I'll give to him. Because of that, and that Egyptian human being.
You see them as contenders.
Yeah. I'll see them as at least top 4.
They are contenders. I hope Maresca watches our podcast. I would like him to listen to what I have to say now. I'll say it in just 30 seconds or less. He should give opportunity to Nkuku to play in number 10 role. He should just throw that out there. He should just give Nkuku.
So somebody has to suffer. So none will suffer.
No, definitely somebody will suffer. But he should just give that guy the chance to play in number 10 role.
That means it will be Noni, because Cole has to play.
somebody will
He
suffer.
can
What
play
I'm
two
saying so is
tens.
so that you
He
have
can play two
so that you
tens.
can have no, you should not play two tens. You should play one
Omo,
ten, two
lie.
tens now because if you play two
Whoever sits
tens,
in
they
front
are
of that defense will die.
No,
now why why
depending on the
why
team
I
he's
said
playing. If he's
with
playing
two
at home,
tens. No, it depends
uh-huh.
on the team exactly. Now, why I wanted to play 110 is because of the versatility of Nkuku, wherein no manager has tapped into yet. I want to say maybe because of the injuries he's been having or the likes, but that guy has what he brings that when playing behind, directly behind the striker,
Yeah.
not on the wing, directly behind the striker. Give that guy a chance. You'll be surprised that you'll be banging in goals from all corner. And again, it gives us room for tactics change,
Yeah.
not playing him on the wing, but because we have too many wingers. Today he came in as a sub and played on the wings, which
Yeah.
shouldn't
Early
have
You
been.
guys,
days,
you
So,
guys have too
early
well,
many
early
days.
days
wingers,
too.
man.
Early days. Maresca,
30,
please watch the podcast. I know you will call me
30,
very.
30 more EPL games to go up until May. But to our listeners, watching this on YouTube, if you're watching a live broadcast or you're watching a delayed broadcast, please follow us on our YouTube channel. We want the YouTube channel to grow. And you can just, give us a subscription, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and also follow us on our social media handles, Instagram and Twitter. And you can listen to other contents that we turn out and support